while ago, I asked friends for some stories that I could read at Christmas time. A very dear friend of mine came up with a delightful story that she has shared with me so that I can read it here for you today. Her name is Pat Foxx, and not only did she write this story, she illustrated it too. I hope you enjoy The Three T's and Their Christmas Trees by Pat Foxx. Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus went walking by the river, discussing Christmas presents and the joy they would deliver. They came upon three turtles, excited as can be, each one discussing options for their family Christmas tree. Sandy River Turtle was swimming by the log, Rex Terrapin sat upon it, and so did Flint the Frog. Terry Tortoise came to drink, his trip had made him tired, and as the creatures chatted, they were hoping to be inspired. Looking up, they saw Santa and his friendly smiling wife. That's when Terry Tortoise told the Clauses of their strife. Each one of us is different, especially where we stay, and we don't know what kind of tree to use for Christmas Day. Sandy River Turtle said, I must stay in the waters. We can only go up on dry land to have our sons and daughters. Human kids and terrapins can have a great pine tree, but that's a choice that just won't work for Terry or for me. We can't always have pine trees, said Rex Terrapin. Where I live, there's too much water, and pine tree growth is slim. Mrs. Claus looked to Santa, soft eyes and rosy cheeks. She turned to the three turtles, and she began to speak. What you need to think about is where it is you live. Look around for awesome things that nature has to give. Santa interjected. He was beaming with delight, and as the turtles listened, he gave them deep insight. Christmas isn't just the tree, it's those who come together. Not all people have pine trees, it depends upon their weather. Some human beings have small homes, so this is what they do. Make homemade decorations with scissors, tape, and glue. Mrs. Claus's eyes lit up, they were glowing oh so bright. I have to say quite honestly, I love Christmas Eve night. Santa sends me pictures of the neatest things he sees. Some of my most favorites are what people use for trees. The turtles thanked the Clauses, who went merrily on their way, happy with the talk they'd had with them on that day. Terry headed to the desert, the place he calls his home, and on the way to his house, he saw a cactus grown. He dug it up, took it home, and in less than half an hour, had his cactus decorated with red hibiscus flowers. He found some shiny pebbles, he tied them up with grass, and hung them from the cactus needles. His tree was done at last. Rex sunned himself upon the log, contemplatively. It came to him in an instant, I'll use a willow tree. He swam to shore and wandered round, feeling rather merry, when he came up to a holly bush, bright green and red with berries. He took some branches from the bush. A great idea set in. I'll weave them here into the tree. That's where I'll begin. The river splashed up sparkling drops to bring his tree to light. Between the sun and fireflies, it was lit up day and night. Sandy Turtle's little home was deeper in the lake. As she started swimming, she was thinking what to make. There have to be some pretty things on the silt and sand with which to make a Christmas tree, both beautiful and grand. Excitedly she swam along and saw the perfect piece of wood, the broken roots of a cypress tree, and Sandy thought, it's good. She dragged the wood back to her house and left it at the door. She scanned the bottom of the lake and searched for something more. There were many types of seaweed to make some garland with. Bits of shells and smooth sea glass were placed around its width. She looked upon her masterpiece, and much to her surprise, her Christmas tree was all lit up, bright before her eyes. Christmas tree worms saw Sandy's work, and wanting in on the fun, told the bioluminescent algae their plans to get it done. It seems that they had found her tree and decided to move in, so now the pretty light was coming from outside and within. Now that our friends all have their trees, what would Santa say? Would they get their wish fulfilled from him on Christmas Day? Christmas Eve came that night, and with it Santa Claus, and when he landed at their homes, he took a longer pause. Proud as punch it was what they did, Santa called Mrs. C. I will send you pictures of what's in front of me. Our shelled friends are amazing. They really took to heart all the things we told them, and came up with fine art. I've seen shiny rocks, sparkling drops, and wonders on this trip, but I have to say the Christmas worms on this piece are quite hip. Christmas passed and springtime came along with nicer weather. They talked about their Christmas trees when they came together. "That was a fun adventure," Terry Tortoise said. "My tree looked quite different from what was in my head." Rex Terrapin agreed with him and said he felt quite blessed. Because he is a terrapin, he could visit all their nests. He turned to Sandy Turtle. "Your tree, it was amazing. When I first got to your place, I thought I was stargazing." "I must admit the Christmas worms really lit the scene. With all of those cool algae, your tree was glowing green." Sandy said, "I think it's important to have friends of different styles. It truly was those friendly creatures that made my tree look wild. Just like the Clauses told us, it's really not the trees, but those that gather round it and the happy memories." The turtles nodded in agreement and went along their way and started dreaming of their trees for next year's Christmas Day. I hope you've enjoyed The Three T's and Their Christmas Trees, written and illustrated by Pat Foxx.